At 12 years old, she became England's queen and later destroyed her own king. Isabella of France was only 12 years old when she was sent across the sea to marry Edward II of England in 1308. She was a political pawn, young, foreign, and powerless, crowned queen before she even understood what that meant. At first, Isabella did her duty. She gave Edward 4 children and stood beside him as he ruled. But England quickly learned what Isabella already knew. Edward was weak, and his affections lay elsewhere. The king was obsessed with a man named Hugh Despenser the Younger. Despenser didn't just influence Edward, he controlled him. He turned the king against his own nobles and against his own wife. Isabella was humiliated, ignored, and pushed aside while Despenser enriched himself and ruled England through Edward. She hated him, and she wasn't subtle about it. Then came the ultimate betrayal. In 1324, Edward declared war on France against Isabella's own brother, King Charles IV. To make sure she wouldn't side with her family, Edward confiscated Isabella's lands, wealth, and household, effectively stripping the queen of her power. But Edward made a fatal mistake. He still needed Isabella. She was sent to France to negotiate peace, and once there, she refused to return. Instead, Isabella did something terrifyingly smart. She gathered allies. She aligned herself with Roger Mortimer, a powerful English noble in exile, and possibly her lover. She convinced her teenage son, Prince Edward, to swear loyalty to the French king. Now Isabella had something far more dangerous than anger. She had legitimacy. In 1326, Isabella returned to England, not as a queen, but as an invader. Her army was small, but England exploded in support. Nobles defected. Cities opened their gates. Edward II's rule collapsed almost overnight. Edward fled. Despenser was captured. Hugh Despenser the Younger was brutally executed, dragged through the streets, and torn apart as a traitor. Isabella watched her greatest enemy fall. Edward II was forced to abdicate the throne, one of the only English kings ever removed by force. Shortly after, he died in captivity under suspicious circumstances. Isabella's son became Edward III, King of England. For the next several years, Isabella and Roger Mortimer ruled from the shadows. She had won everything: power, revenge, and control of the realm. But history has a cruel sense of balance. In 1330, Edward III struck back. He arrested Mortimer, had him executed, and stripped his mother of her authority. Isabella wasn't killed. She was given something worse: oblivion. Her lands were seized. Her income reduced. She lived the rest of her life as a fallen queen, isolated and watched, until her death in 1358. She began as a child bride. She ended as a warning. And history remembers her as the she-wolf of France, the queen who destroyed her own king. Please like, subscribe, and share for more videos.